I'm glad he didn't say the Pac-12. That's for damn sure.
There's only been one team to not have a bad enough day to lose a game, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
If you didn't know who America's team was, you should have seen the stands. We'll be the world's team. We got fans everywhere. They're the best in the world.
That was a mic drop moment from Big Ben after their win in Dallas, which was a little closer than they would have liked. Ben essentially said, hey, it's America's team, but when I see the towels waving all around the world, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the global team. Ben's won a couple Super Bowls. Ryan Clark has won a Super Bowl.
I want to hear Renegade, man. I hate this song.
And he joins us this morning on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Good morning, Ryan. We were crunching the numbers. I was loving the music too this morning.
That's a defense, because that's when the defensive highlight tape come out, and I got to look at my quarterback. I'm saying, Coach, punt. Just get the defense off the field, punt. Our quarterback is under duress. Pimp down, cold red Donna.
One thing, Ryan, I would say is the Steelers aren't punting much the Steelers aren't punting much this season at all. They are just scoring drive after drive after drive. But the Football Power Index, our number crunchers, Ryan, you won a Super Bowl with this organization, gives the Steelers a 6% chance to win out and finish the season at 16-0 in the regular campaign. What do you think about that, with it picking up just a little bit more steam week after week with Mercury Morris sweating somewhere in South Florida?
Listen, Mercury Morris right now is getting ready for his freestyle, because you don't expect teams to go 16-0. And Keys played and Bart's played, and they've both been on extremely good football teams. It's hard to show up every week and win. It's the NFL, and that's kind of what Mike Tomlin was saying. Like, it's not college. You don't get to be Ohio State and be this dominant team and be able to out-recruit all the people you play. And so, they still have the Bills. They still have the Ravens. They still have the Colts. And is it a possibility? Yes, but it's also a possibility, or it was a possibility and probability at times through the first 9 games that they would have lost. So I don't expect them to go undefeated, but I do expect it to be between them and the Kansas City Chiefs for the number 1 overall seed in the AFC.
Well, these teams in the NFC East, we certainly know, Ryan, will not be undefeated at all. Who wins the NFC? Not. Yeah, right. Who wins the NFC East, with the Giants, I guess, coming back to the pack, the Cowboys getting Andy Dalton back, and the Philadelphia Eagles just being the Philadelphia Eagles?
You know what? I look at the New York Giants, and it's the team I have the most confidence in. Like, I remember when all of this started and we realized how terrible the NFC East was. Many people picked the Philadelphia Eagles because of their coach and because of their quarterback. And we're starting to watch that those two people aren't functioning to their highest level. So when you look at Joe Judge, when you look at Daniel Jones having a couple of weeks without turning the ball over drastically, it looks like this team is playing the best football right now. It looks like that defense plays the most intense, the most aggressive defense in the NFC East. So if I had to pick a team today, I would pick the New York Giants.
And when I look at this team as well, I see a team that has bought into their coach. I know Joe Judge was getting a lot of flack early on about, not naming the quarterback, not saying if Saquon Barkley is going to be a starter. But I think that we're starting to see that some of the things that he's trying to teach them, he always talked about their toughness. And now you're starting to see their team reflect that. And also, whenever you bench top 10 pick, it tells your team that everybody is going, if you can play, you're going to win. And that sends a message throughout the entire team that, hey, the best players are going to play and everybody has an equal opportunity.
Keyshawn, and that's important, Bart.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin is presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests joins us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. You have that little bit of a delay there, so sorry about that, Ryan. Go right ahead.
Nah, you got it, man. No, I was just saying to Bart, though, like, I remember being on teams where you felt like the best player would play. I remember being in Pittsburgh and knowing that if a 5th-round draft pick, if an undrafted free agent could help us, that guy was going to play. And so you practice that way, you work that way, and you start to see those things on the field. And New York Giants absolutely reflect who Joe Judge is. And right now he's showing that leadership, being able to delegate, being able to reach people is much more important than the X's and O's when you're picking head coaches.
Ryan, when you look at the AFC East, the New England Patriots are playing a little better here in the last couple of weeks. They beat up on they squeak one out against the New York Jets, and they beat up on the Baltimore Ravens and got out of there with a W. Buffalo loses a heartbreaker to Arizona, and Miami is rolling along with Tua. Who wins the AFC East now?
I think it's the Buffalo Bills, but I think they have to win it in week 17. I think it's going to come down to that week. I think the Miami Dolphins have a little bit harder of a schedule going here down the stretch, and they'll lose some games. I think the Buffalo Bills lose 1 or 2, and then that game is going to decide. When you look at Brian Flores and what the Miami Dolphins are doing, that team is ascending, but you got to realize the Buffalo Bills also put themselves in a position where they still have a half game lead. So going down the stretch with his defense playing a little bit better, with Josh Allen kind of being up and down, but we've seen him play well the last 2 weeks, other than some errant throws against the Arizona Cardinals. I think this is going to be a race to the finish that the Buffalo Bills just edge out the Miami Dolphins.
Now, let me get this right. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin is presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests join us on the show, Pennzoil Performance Line. Ryan, when you look at the Chicago Bears and Matt Nagy, what happens now moving forward with Nick Foles? I guess he's on the shelf, and then Mitch Trubisky trying to get healthy. What happens after the bye?
I mean, you're in a tough position, and for me, I think Matt Nagy has to admit it, right? Matt Nagy has to come to his team during the bye week and say, you know what, guys, I messed this one up. I was so ready to get by Mitchell Trubisky. I was so ready to get over with him, to get past and get to Nick Foles, that I didn't really see what he could do for our team. I didn't really see that if I adjusted who I was as a coach, it would work. He had to take his ego out of it, go back to Mitchell Trubisky, because you got a defense playing championship caliber football, and your offense is terrible. Your offense is horrible. Like, I don't know if there's an offense in the league that I would pick the Chicago Bears in front of. And so when you have this opportunity with an aging defense, you don't have a lot of picks, you have to capitalize when you can. And I believe if Matt Nagy doesn't get this fixed, that the Chicago Bears may be looking for a new head coach heading into next year.
Ryan, you've been singing Kyler Murray's praises, and, deservedly so. The guys came in and kind of picked off where he left off in college. I think the fact that he's able to be comfortable in the same offensive system. And then you look at Russell Wilson, and, we've been talking about how great he was playing, but he's kind of come back to earth. You talk about the 7 turnovers, the 7 interceptions, and the turnovers he's had over the previous weeks. Yeah. But are we overlooking the Los Angeles Rams and the fact that I believe that they're the most complete team within the division defensively and offensively? And when it's all said and done, which one of those teams do you think can win that division?
Boy, you're absolutely right. I think we overlooked the Rams because the quarterbacks of those other two teams are so exciting, and we like them and we enjoy watching them play. But when you look at the Rams defensively, they probably have 2 of the best positional players in the NFL, and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, Darius Williams balling on the other side in the sub package, Leonard Floyd up front rushing the quarterback. And then offensively, when they run the ball first and they establish the line of scrimmage, Jared Goff and those weapons play extremely well. I think it's the best team and the most complete team in the NFC West too, Bart. I think that's the team that ends up winning it, even if it's not the team that we want to watch the most.
Interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. It's a huge game tomorrow night, and it could be a huge game in determining the winner of the NFC West.